just taking care of people's bugs, sir.
What do you mean, bugs?
Get the out of this neighborhood, dude.
Can you show me your papers?
Could you move away?
No, I want to see your papers.
You want to see my papers?
Yes.
Your immigration.
Hey, y'all, say hi. No, it's okay. Don't be embarrassed. Don't say sorry to me. Say it to the sheriff when he gets here.
You're the worst who's ever lived in this neighborhood.
As 1 in 5 Americans move to the suburbs, neighbor complaints double.
Out of here, you broke bitch.
People are spending more time at home than ever before. They have gotten to really know their neighbors. For better
Out of this neighborhood.
and worse.
I'm suing the out of you.
From home sweet home to battle zone.
Hey.
These are
This is harassment, you fat piece of...
door-to-door salesmen face all sorts of hazards when they're canvassing a neighborhood.
Don't run, mate. Don't run. Stop running.
But sometimes the biggest hazard of all can be the neighbors themselves.
Are you part of the threesome that I ordered?
No.
No?
I would have loved to get on that.
While this particular solicitor is greeted with a simple and stern request,
Somewhere here, the sign says no soliciting. I want you to actually respect the sign on my door.
Okay, gotcha. How do you want?
the next unfortunate salesman is in for much worse.
Give me your business card.
I don't have one.
The man in the truck spots the salesman as he walks through the neighborhood and now decides to confront him in front of a neighbor's house.
What are you doing here without a business card?
I'm just taking care of people's bugs, sir.
What do you mean, bugs?
Spiders, ants, roaches.
Get the out of this neighborhood, dude. You're not allowed to just walk around people's private property. You're not allowed to.
Alerted by the man in blue's aggressive outburst, the homeowner comes to the door.
I'm trying to get this guy out of the neighborhood. He's driving everybody crazy.
You're the only person. All of your neighbors were really nice. You're the only one that's acted like this.
You interrupted my business.
I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
You didn't even answer the door.
Sure.
There's no soliciting signs all over.
As the irate neighbor leaves, the salesman apologizes to the homeowner.
I'm sorry. I was just coming to talk to you about the bugs. I don't understand why he's...
what?
The bugs, spiders, ants, roaches.
Okay,
I got you. Okay.
appreciate it.
The salesman heads out, leaving the neighborhood, determined not to bug anyone else today.
What do you mean, bugs?
Spiders, ants, roaches.
Get the out of this neighborhood, dude.
After buying an apartment in a neighborhood just outside of Sydney, Australia, Ian and Bernita couldn't be happier.
We love living in this area, views of the city, so it's, perfect place to be.
But that idyllic new life is about to change.
We moved in thinking this is going to be one of our dream homes. Very soon did we realize that it's actually become a nightmare living here.
Soon after moving in, their next-door neighbor begins storing dozens of bags and boxes in the shared hallway outside Ian and Bernita's apartment.
It was jam-packed. The meter reader couldn't get through her items.
So they decide to mention it to the building's management.
Our neighbor worked it out that it was us who questioned it to building management, and then the relationship turned sour.
After removing her belongings from the hallway, the neighbor begins verbally insulting Ian and Bernita through their door camera.
She refers to Ian as prick or pervert or whatever she wants to call.
Yeah.
The vulgar language from the neighbor increases.
She now just stands outside the door and just goes off at the doorbell camera. That's what she does.
The vile outbursts then become a daily occurrence.
And not just once, it's multiple times a day.
The neighbor's unrelenting behavior has upended Ian and Bernita's lives.
It's always tense, to a point where we even take the fire exit to walk down the building so that we don't have to bump into her in the lift.
And in addition to the daily incidents outside their apartment door, the neighbor confronts them in the building's parking garage as well.
We fear exiting our unit to go outside, which leaves us in a spot where we feel terrified.
Stay away from us. Stay away from us.
Having endured disturbing outbursts by their neighbor for months, an Australian couple now finds themselves confronted by the neighbor in the parking garage of their building.
We record every exit and entry to the building.
Stay away from us. Stay away from us. Stay away from us. We're scared of our safety. Stay away from us.
For Benita, the neighbor's endless onslaught is physically draining.
Every day I feel, okay, what's going to happen today? Has she done something? Do we need to call the cops?
In fact, they do call the police multiple times.
It would have to be up to 20 to 30 times that we've reported her behaviour. The situation itself is quite well known at the local police station.
But the police are unable to do much aside from suggesting that the couple simply not engage the neighbor.
Every day I wake up and I feel exhausted. It's all a cycle that just repeats itself.
Pushed to their limits and with no help from the building's management, Ian and Bernita decide to sell their apartment.
That's what it's come to. Like, we don't want to have any association with this building, with the neighbors, nothing.
And hopefully, they can find a new neighborhood, free from the hassle of a belligerent neighbor.
We just want to get out and start fresh and basically have peace and sanity so we can sleep in peace as well.
Landscapers have become a ubiquitous part of suburban neighborhoods all over America. They keep our yards looking beautifully groomed and neat.
Can you move on my walk area? And can you stay away?
That is, unless a nosy neighbor tries to stop them, which is exactly what this woman in Rancho Mirage, California is doing by standing directly in front of this landscaper's mower.
Can you show me your papers?
Can you move away?
No, can you show me your papers?
Can you move away?
No, I want to see your papers.
You want to see my papers?
Yes.
Your immigration.
The question from the landscaper shocks the neighbor as she starts heading back toward her home before turning to engage the man again, this time inexplicably asking him about nail salons.
What nail salon do you own?
I own Mexicans only salon.
No, you're not Mexican.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Oh, no.
No.
What am I?
I don't know, you tell me.
The woman strangely blows the worker a kiss before beginning to circle his mower and resuming her aggressive inquiry.
You're calling me.
When did I call you? When? When did I call you like that?
So what's your cell phone?
Tell me, when did I call you?
Phone.
The landscaper naturally refuses to give up his phone, and the woman continues her interrogation.
Filipino?
Yeah, I'm Filipino.
Vietnam.
Filipino. Well, actually Chinese.
The neighbor stomps back home, and the man is able to get back to work, albeit with a positive take on the otherwise bizarre encounter.
You're funny. You just made my day.
It's after midnight at this house in the Dearborn Heights neighborhood of Michigan. Inside, a man and his girlfriend, along with their roommate, are asleep and about to experience every homeowner's worst nightmare as two men walk by the front door camera toward the back of the house. The following scenes are very intense. As one man waits outside, the other, masked and armed with a gun, climbs through a window and starts looking around the kitchen. Thinking no one is home, he turns on the light before walking into the living room. Surprised to find the roommate asleep on the couch, he orders the man to the floor.
Don't move.
The homeowner, woken by the commotion, grabs a gun while his girlfriend continues sleeping and stands quietly by the door of his bedroom listening. While the terrified roommate lays on the floor, the masked gunman continues looking around the house, grabbing valuables.
Stand on the ground. Down. Down.
Then he heads down the hall toward the homeowner's bedroom and opens the door. The two men exchange gunfire, hitting one another. As the homeowner lies on the floor of his bedroom screaming, the roommate runs out of the house for help. The masked man, shot in the leg, hobbles out of the front door and collapses at the base of the steps before crawling away. Police later arrest the armed intruder and charge him with 21 counts, including armed robbery and assault with intent to murder. The second suspect is still at large. The homeowner, who was shot in the foot, and his girlfriend, who was also injured in the shooting, are expected to make a full recovery. Celebrating our nation's independence is a time-honored tradition. But while most Americans choose to let the professionals handle the pyrotechnics, an alarming number of people in neighborhoods all over the country throw caution to the wind on the 4th of July, treating fireworks like toys instead of explosives. A word of caution: don't try any of what you're about to see at home. Some neighbors seem to think putting fireworks in their barbecue grill is a hot idea, but it's not. Other more reckless neighbors have a strange urge to place their fireworks in even weirder places. There's also a disturbing number of neighbors who just can't help shooting their fireworks at each other. While neighbors in this Houston, Texas suburb take their celebration to a shockingly dangerous level. Waging a full-on war and firing nearly 3,000 fireworks at one another. Luckily, no one is injured and no property is damaged. Woo! So, word to the wise. Do be careful at your next neighborhood 4th of July party, and everyone can go home safely, having had a real bang-up time. Des Moines, Iowa is a beautiful Midwestern city, and its tranquil suburbs are the perfect place for U.S. Army and Air Force veteran Herb Garrison and his wife to enjoy their retirement.
My two kids moved out, and that's when we moved into a new home to be empty nesters.
Herb seeks out his new neighborhood specifically for its quiet and peaceful vibe.
I have PTSD, and we were moving hoping to find somewhere peaceful.
But things aren't quite as peaceful as Herb hopes.
I got a crazy neighbor.
You're so Baker.
She's about an 84-year-old lady. You would never guess that she would be as mean-spirited as she is.
One afternoon, not long after moving in, Herb has his first interaction with the woman.
I caught her blowing her leaves through my fence into my yard. I approached her and asked her nicely not to do that.
I'm not going to quit blowing that out of the fence.
Asking you nicely. From that point on, I have always had issues.
The woman starts blaming Herb for random things too, like squirrels in her yard.
I've got 15 new holes from these squirrels.
What do you want me to do about the squirrels?
Quit feeding them.
I can't control the wild animals.
Stupid. You're all stupid.
And if it's not squirrels, it's ducks.
My neighbor called the authorities on me because I had some random wild ducks come into my yard. So I put up a sign that said no deer or waterfowl because I figured that was probably about as ridiculous as calling the police for ducks.
But Herb's cheeky sign ends up enraging his elderly neighbor's son, who lives in his mother's basement.
Yeah, that's a great sign you got out there, big boy. That's a cool sign. You. You're the worst who's ever lived in this neighborhood.
It was kind of breathtaking for me to be called something like that for no reason. I just kept my cool head because I knew me being angry was not. Avoid her to not have the confrontation.
And as for how he thinks things will play out with his elderly neighbor, Herb takes a pragmatic view of the situation.
I'm counting down the minutes for this all to pass. It's only time. She's 84. It's only time.
You're so Baker.
Remember, you're acting like that.
Neighbors accusing neighbors of theft is a problem as old as time. Whether that neighborhood is in the city, in the suburbs, or in the country. And today in Texas, a farmer has just come upon two women who he believes are trying to help themselves to his corn.
Yep, we got some corn thieves here. Hey, y'all, say hi. Everybody say hi. Wave at everybody on Facebook. Look, hey. No, it's okay. Don't be embarrassed. You weren't embarrassed when you pulled up here and started stealing corn out of the field, were you? Oh, well, don't be embarrassed now.
According to the Urban Institute, farmers in the United States lose $5 billion of crops and livestock every year to theft. While the women don't deny the theft allegations.
Hey, I don't care about how much money these farmers invest in their crop. I'm just going to come take it because I don't give a Yeah. Tell you, don't say sorry to me. Say it to the sheriff when he gets here.
Having heard the farmer's angry rant, all the two women can do is stand by for the sheriff, who arrives shortly after the camera stops recording. While the women don't deny the theft allegations, the magnanimous farmer decides not to press trespassing or theft charges anyway. And hopefully, these neighbors have learned a valuable lesson. You'll reap what you sow if you try to reap what you didn't sow.
You weren't embarrassed when you pulled up here and started stealing corn out of the field, were you? Oh, well, don't be embarrassed now.
In some parts of Alaska, seeing a giant moose in the neighborhood is a regular occurrence.
You want me to pet you or what? You gonna come right over to me?
In the dead of winter, residents see these gigantic four-legged neighbors more often than their human counterparts.
Go, 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 go. There he goes. Yay.
They're welcome members of the community, even if sometimes they can cause a bit of a stir.
Oh my God, there's a here.
So when two neighbors spot a moose that has fallen into the frozen Chena River in Fairbanks, Alaska, they immediately go into rescue mode. 1, 2, 3. Equipped with a shovel, some rope, and a whole lot of determination, the two men, soon joined by 3 state troopers and a wildlife officer, get to work.
Hang in there, Moose. You're almost out.
For the next hour, the men heave together until finally pulling the 1,200-pound animal to safety.
It's okay. You can go now. Yeah, you're welcome.
And while he may not actually say thank you, the appreciative moose is spotted about an hour later, happily rummaging through garbage cans in the neighborhood.
Well, Mr. Moose, this is a fine mess you got yourself into.